Hey sis, imagine this moment. You finally open your banking app and see it. $15,000 sitting in your savings account. It's not flashy, no fireworks, just a number that represents months, maybe years of saying no to things, skipping little luxuries, and choosing the boring path. You feel a tiny rush of pride, but almost immediately the anxiety creeps in. Is this enough? What if the car breaks down? What if I lose my job? What if life throws something bigger at me? You've done the hard part. You've built the emergency fund. But instead of feeling safe, you still feel exposed. Like the money is just sitting there, vulnerable, not really working for you yet. That exact feeling, the mix of relief and lingering worry when you hit 15K saved, is where so many women get stuck. We celebrate for a day, then go back to stressing because we don't know what to do next. Most people wait too long to make the one boring move that actually turns that pile of money into real peace of mind. Today, we're talking about exactly what to do the day or the week you hit $15,000 saved. Not the sexy investing advice, not throw it all in stocks. The practical, slightly unsexy steps that protect it, grow it quietly, and finally let you sleep better at night. My name is Barbie, and I spend way too much time thinking about the real psychology and math behind money milestones, especially the ones that hit women hardest, because we often carry the mental load of family safety nets. If you're a woman who has ever scraped together an emergency fund only to wonder if it's truly enough, or if you're doing the next part wrong, hit that subscribe button right now. And if this video finally gives you clarity on what to do when you hit that 15K mark, give it a thumbs up. We're going deep. No hype, just honest numbers, real stories, and the moves that turn anxiety into actual peace of mind. Look, here's the thing. Most finance content jumps straight from build an emergency fund to invest everything in index funds and retire early. They act like once you have $15,000 saved, the hard part is over, and you should immediately chase higher returns. Or they tell you to keep it all in a basic savings account earning 0.01% while inflation quietly eats it. But the 2026 reality is way more nuanced and way more important. Hitting $15,000 is a massive milestone, but it's also the exact point where most people make one of two big mistakes. They either leave the money sitting in a low-yield account doing nothing, or they get overconfident and throw it into risky investments too soon. I ran the numbers using current high-yield savings rates around 4.0 to 4.5% APY in early 2026, inflation data from the BLS, and real family emergency scenarios from LendingTree and bank rate reports. What I found is eye-opening. The average emergency costs families $3,000 to $8,000 for things like car repairs, medical bills, or job loss. But bigger hits, job loss lasting 3 to 6 months, major home repairs, or medical emergencies can easily drain $15,000 to $30,000. Here's what most people don't realize. 15K is the psychological turning point where your emergency fund stops feeling like barely scraping by and starts feeling like a real buffer, but only if you structure it correctly. Most people wait too long to make the one boring move that turns that money into actual peace of mind, and that delay costs them thousands in lost interest, unnecessary stress, and missed protection. The move is simple but powerful. The day you hit 15K, split and optimize your emergency fund into a tiered, protected structure instead of keeping it all in one account. Here's exactly how it works in 2026. Tier 1, immediate liquidity buffer, $3,000 to $5,000. Keep this in your regular checking or a no-fee high-yield savings account that's linked for instant access. This covers the small, urgent stuff: broken phone, minor car repair, unexpected vet bill. In 2026, with many high-yield accounts offering 4.0 to 4.5% APY, even this small tier earns real money while staying instantly available. Tier 2, Core Emergency Fund, $10,000 to $12,000. Move this to a dedicated high-yield savings account at an online bank or credit union. Rates in early 2026 are still competitive at 4.0 to 4.75% for many institutions. This money is FDIC insured up to $250,000, earns meaningful interest, and is still accessible within 1 to 2 business days. The math here is eye-opening. If you leave $15K in a traditional brick-and-mortar savings account earning 0.01 to 0.45%, you make almost nothing, maybe $15 to $67 a year. In a top HYSA at 4.5%, that same $15K earns about $675 per year in interest, compounding monthly. Over 5 years, that's over $3,500 in extra money just sitting there, doing its job. But here's the real power. When you split it, you create psychological safety. The small tier handles the daily emergencies without touching the bigger buffer. You stop dipping into the main fund for every little thing, which is what causes most emergency funds to never grow beyond $10K. Let's run a real family scenario. Sarah, a single mom making $68K, finally hit $15K after 2 years of aggressive saving. She was tempted to keep it all in her regular bank because it felt simple. Instead, she followed this tiered approach. 6 months later, her car needed a $2,800 repair. She pulled from Tier 1 without stress. 3 months after that, she had a surprise medical bill for her daughter, $4,200. She used Tier 2 and still had the core protected. Because the money was earning interest the whole time, she actually ended the year with more than she started despite the withdrawals. Most people wait too long to do this. They hit $15K, feel proud, then life happens and they slowly bleed the fund down without ever optimizing it. The boring move, opening the right accounts and splitting the money, is what turns it from just savings into a real safety net. Hitting $15K is more than a number. It's a psychological shift. Before $15K, every expense feels like a threat. After, you start to breathe, but only if you handle it right. Studies on financial psychology show that having a dedicated emergency fund reduces anxiety and improves decision-making. Princeton research, updated in recent years, found that financial scarcity literally lowers effective IQ by up to 13 points because your brain is constantly scanning for threats. When you have a properly structured $15K buffer, that background noise quiets down. You make better long-term choices instead of reactive ones. For women especially, this milestone hits different. We often carry the invisible load of what if something happens to the kids, the house, or my income. The $15K becomes not just money, it becomes permission to stop white-knuckling through life. But if you leave it unoptimized, the worry never fully leaves. You still check the balance obsessively. You still feel one emergency away from panic. The boring move changes that. It tells your brain, I've got this covered. And that mental shift is worth more than the interest alone. Here's what most people don't realize. Most emergency funds fail not because of big disasters, but because of 1,000 small leaks. People hit $15K, celebrate, then slowly spend it on important things that aren't true emergencies. New tires that could have been budgeted, a necessary vacation, or helping family. Story time. My friend Lisa hit $15K in late 2025. She left it all in one account. 6 months later, her emergency fund was down to $4,200 because she used it for a family emergency that was really just poor planning. She had to start over. The woman who split hers into tiers, she's now at $28K and sleeps like a baby. Another revelation. In 2026, with interest rates still elevated but inflation hovering around 2 to 3%, a well-placed HYSA actually beats inflation for the first time in years for many savers. Leaving money in a 0.4% account is literally losing purchasing power every month. The boring optimization move protects you from that silent tax. Now, you might be thinking, but Barbie, what if I need the money tomorrow? Online banks aren't safe. Or, I don't want to deal with transferring money between accounts. Or, 15K isn't enough anyway. Why bother optimizing? Totally valid fears. Let's address them head on. First, safety. Choose FDIC-insured or NCUA-insured institutions. Your money is protected up to $250,000 per depositor per bank. The big names like Ally, Capital One, SoFi, or Discover are reliable and have been for years. Transfers usually take 1 to 2 days, fast enough for most true emergencies. Second, inconvenience. Yes, it takes 15 to 30 minutes to open the accounts and set up automatic transfers. But once it's done, it runs on autopilot. The peace you gain is worth way more than the setup time. Third, 15K isn't enough. You're right, for some situations, it's a starting point. But optimizing what you have now builds the habit and the momentum to grow it further. Many women I talk to say the structured 15K felt safer than 25K sitting unorganized. Another objection, what about investing it for higher returns? Not yet. This is emergency money. The goal is preservation and accessibility first. Once you have 3 to 6 months of expenses fully covered in the optimized fund, then you can talk about investing the overflow. Let's run the numbers over time. Assume you hit 15K today and optimize it into the tiered HYSA structure at 4.3% APY, realistic average in 2026. You add $200 a month consistently. After 1 year, $18,200 plus interest earned, approximately $650. After 3 years, $26,500 plus interest, approximately $2,100 total. After 5 years, $35,800 plus interest, approximately $4,200 plus. Compare that to leaving it in a low-yield account and occasionally dipping in. Many people end up back at square one within 18 months. The optimized version not only grows, but also protects you psychologically, so you're less likely to read it. Over 10 years, the difference can easily be $10,000 to $15,000 in extra money, plus the priceless calm of knowing your safety net is working for you. So, what should you do the actual day you hit 15K? Here's your step-by-step playbook. Step 1, celebrate, but briefly. Take a moment to acknowledge the win, then get to work. Step 2, research and open 1 to 2 high-yield savings accounts. Compare current rates on sites like Bankrate or NerdWallet. Look for no fees, easy transfers, and strong customer service. Top options in 2026 often include Ally, Capital One 360, SoFi, Discover, or local credit unions. Step 4, split the money. Move $3,000 to $5,000 to Tier 1, immediate access. Put the rest in Tier 2, core buffer. Set up automatic transfers so future savings go straight to the right bucket. Step 5, set alerts. Enable notifications for any withdrawal or balance change. This keeps you aware without obsessive checking. Step 6, define your true emergency rules in writing. Write down exactly what qualifies, like job loss, major medical, critical home or car repair, versus things that can be budgeted or delayed. Review this list when temptation hits. Step 7. Automate contributions. Set up $100 to $300 per paycheck to go directly into the fund before you even see it. Step 8. Review quarterly. Check rates. Move money if a better HYSA appears. Transfers are easy. Adjust tiers as your income or expenses change. Step 9. Build the next layer. Once the $15K is optimized and stable, start directing extra money toward debt payoff or long-term investing. Step 10. Reframe the mindset monthly. Remind yourself, this money isn't dead, it's working hard by giving you options, reducing stress, and buying you time when life gets hard. Here's the truth that changed everything for me and so many women I've coached. Hitting 15K isn't the end of the journey, it's the beginning of real financial adulthood. Most people wait too long to optimize because the next steps feel boring or scary. But that one boring move, structuring and protecting your emergency fund, is what turns a number on a screen into actual peace of mind. You stop living in survival mode. You start making decisions from strength instead of fear. You give yourself and your family the gift of breathing room. You've already done the hardest part by saving the 15K. Now do the smart part. Your future self, calmer, more confident, and wealthier, is waiting on the other side. If this video finally gave you the clear next step you've been missing, drop "I hit 15K" or your biggest takeaway in the comments. I read every single one. Share this with a friend who just hit or is close to that milestone. You've got this, Queen. The boring moves are the ones that actually change your life. I'll see you in the next one. Love you.